Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel for what is going to be a monthly two monthly unboxings in one video. I once again am unboxing my Play by Sephora as well as my Ipsy bag for the month of July. These take me a little bit longer to crank out because I do like to try each of the products that comes in these guys out for a little while so that I'm not only showing you the product, like what comes inside, but also giving you a mini review. I'm not always able to give like a complete review because it's not a whole lot of time to test all of these items, especially with something like skincare, hair care, etc. But I do my best to let you know of what I thought came inside. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start with my Play by Sephora, but I will put a timestamp down in the description bar below if you want to hop straight ahead to Ipsy. If you're like, I came here for the Ipsy unboxing, go on and watch that. As usual though with the Ipsy, be sure and look down in the comments. No, I always confuse those. I fill out the description. Check out the description for any coupons. You can use Ipsy coupons even if you aren't actually subscribed to the service. So any products in this bag that stick out to you that you might want to try, definitely look down below to see if they are offering a coupon this month, because sometimes they are pretty sizable, up to like 30%, sometimes it's 40%. You just never can tell. So definitely go check down below in case any of these strike your fancy. Be sure and get the discount that goes along with it. Let's go ahead and dive into Sephora. So the theme for this month's box is effortless, appropriate for the summer. This is very poolside, very easy poolside beauty. So the products are aligned with that. Let's first start with the hair. I have had a lot of questions from you guys in recent videos where I've been wearing my hair like this, and it actually all came from starting to use a product that I got in this month's Sephora Play by Sephora box. It's from Way. I think that's how you pronounce it, Way Hair Care. You can see I've already used a good amount of it. It's wave spray. It smells amazing. But I do think this is a pricier brand. I mean, it's from Sephora, so you know it's not exactly a drugstore brand. And it really got me into embracing the natural texture of my and not my hair. Some of you might know I have tape-in extensions for volume. So it really helps enhance that texture. But, and this is seriously all I do when I use this, I spritz it in dry. This is my favorite, is to use it for second day hair. So I spritz it onto dry hair, kind of let it dry a little bit before I then go in with a larger barreled iron and just wrap sections, mostly at the top because the bottom already produces nice natural texture. So I just put a couple of sections of hair around a larger barreled curling iron to create this texture. It's seriously the easiest second and sometimes third day hair look I have ever done. The one thing I will say about this product though, it is sticky. Smells beautiful, like smells amazing, gives your second and third day hair the best scent, but you gotta spray this over tile or a hard surface, easily cleanable, because it is sticky. Far stickier than a lot of other beach sprays I've used. I used to really love the Bumble and Bumble sea salt spray, and then there are a couple other drugstore options that I want to go back and explore because, long story short, while this did help me kind of rediscover the beachy waves thing and just this effortless kind of tousled hair look, I'm not convinced that this does something besides smell great that a less expensive brand might. So I will report back. I fully intend on using this full bottle because A, it's easy to go through quickly, but B, it smells amazing. And then after that, I think I might start dabbling in more affordable beach sprays and report back my thoughts. Next up's gonna be quick because it wasn't my favorite, but it did add a ton of value to this month's box. In fact, this is a $10 box. This product paid for it in and of itself. It's the Beauty Blender Blotterazzi. And essentially, it's a sponge, much like the Beauty Blender, but shaped like the profile of a Beauty Blender, but flat. It's meant to be used dry and to blot away excess oil throughout the day, which is very useful for summer. Like you would think it'd be a great placement in this month's box. I just don't think it does anything that blotting papers or like tissue doesn't do. And you get 2 sponges for $20, so one came in this month's box, so you essentially get a $10 sponge, and I think you could use a tissue for fractions of a cent to get the job done. What I have found it's good for, just to make use of it, is I have been really loving some setting sprays, and so some of them don't have quite as clean a spray as I would like, so as I'm misting I might go a little bit too dewy, and rather than waiting for it to dry, this is a great little guide to go in and press that excess. Well, it wicks away some of the excess, but it also presses the rest into the skin, so it really sets your makeup. But once again, I don't think it's something that any other sponge, like a regular beauty blender or a tissue for that matter, matter if you're really, tissue might leave some residue behind, but you get the idea. It doesn't solve a problem that any other product that you might already have within your makeup tool set doesn't already solve. So good value, but not a personal love for me. Let's move on to something I did like though. It's a classic that a lot of you might already like as well. It's the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Medium Deep Matte Bronzer. This one is unopened for me because I actually have a full size when I bought the Mega Black Book of Bronzers when they released all of their bronzers. Too Faced, one of the many things they're known for is their bronzers. They not only have the Chocolate Soleil, this is for medium deep skin tones, but they also have the Milk Chocolate Soleil, which is for light medium, I suppose. I would say I have light skin tones in the summer that verge on fair in the winter, but I am wearing this today, and used with the light hand, I think it gives me a very summery looking glow, used as a bronzer, but it's very pigmented. You can definitely layer it up and it's gonna be a beautiful bronzer, or it's matte, so it's gonna be a great contour for medium deep skin tones as well. If however you got this and you do have light to fair skin year round no matter what, like you're the palest of the pale, just remember they do have the Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and it's a really great non-orangey matte bronzer if that's what you're looking for. On to another product I was not a fan of. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. I am super picky with primers. I find that more often than not the texture makes makeup feel like it's going to slide off my skin sooner than it will like really grip on and adhere. And I know the point of a lot of these is to smooth out uneven texture, but my biggest problem as someone with combo skin is just getting stuff to stay shine free and intact throughout the day. So definitely understand that this might be good for those with oily skin because it's supposed to minimize pores, but ultimately I didn't notice it prevent shine, which then ultimately made my foundation deteriorate throughout the day, which does the opposite of what you want a primer to do. So I do know that some people love the Smashbox primer formula. I am just not among them. Up next is a skincare product, and skincare is generally one of those things that takes me a while. Like I typically like at least a month to try a skincare product to understand how it fully meshes with my skin throughout its kind of monthly cycle, as a lot of us might have. So I will just tell you what I can from my limited experience with this guy. This is from First Aid Beauty. It's the Skin Rescue Deep Cleanser with Red Clay. It says it removes excess oils, great for my oily skin, unclogs pores, and purifies. It says it's safe for sensitive skin. It does have a slight minty scent, but I didn't notice any, really severe tingling, and so that I think might be how it is good for sensitive skin. It's not overly stimulating like minty scented skincare products can be. Still feels very soothing, calming. It's a very thick gel texture. Like I would say it's on one of the thicker cleansers I have used, and it foams up really nicely, not in any way like a foam cleanser, but just gives a really like satisfying foam as you're massaging it into your skin. But I did notice that that thick texture made me feel like it was really hard to fully cleanse from my skin. If you have dry skin, you might really like that because you feel like you aren't completely stripping your skin. But as someone with combo skin, I don't like the feeling of stripped skin, but I also don't like the feeling that my cleanser left a barrier on my face. That's definitely not what I'm looking for, and that's kind of what I feel like this guy did. I didn't notice any, any breakouts from it. I didn't notice any excess dryness. Like it didn't really affect my skin in any significant way, and so I'm kind of middle of the road on this guy, but as a result, I wouldn't necessarily go out and repurchase it just from my experience in this box. And last is probably my favorite product in the box. As usual, it is a fragrance. They always include a fragrance each month in the Play by Sephora box, and this is from a brand that I already know and love, Nest Fragrances. It's the scent Citrine, and I thought I got a Nest sampler because I love the scent Midnight Fleur back here. Absolute favorite, but definitely more of a heavier winter scent, and so I thought I had tried a couple of them and I didn't like any of them that I had tried more than I did Midnight Fleur. In fact, some of them were a little granny-ish, but this guy, Citrine, is just as fresh as you would imagine it smelling. If there's a description here. The dewy softness of lotus flower and freesia are set against sparkling citrus notes and hints of precious woods. It is very, I think the woods kind of give it a little bit more depth, the kind of depth that I personally like in a fragrance. I don't like a lot of super high sweet notes in my fragrance. I like it a little bit grounded, but that citrus just really makes it feel fresh and summery. I'm in love with this fragrance. If there's one thing I buy from this box, it will probably be this guy because I just love it. And Nest fragrances on me last all day. If you're someone that has an issue with fragrances that just like at the end of the day you feel like what was the point? Or even halfway through the day, you're like, what? Did I even shower today? Like what? I can't smell anything on my person. Nest might be a good one to look into for you because I just find that those, either whether this is oil or something else in the actual fragrance, just lasts on my skin. So that is it for my Play by Sephora box. On to the July Ipsy Glam Bag. Look at this, I love, it's a hologram. I mean, who doesn't love a good holographic print? And then on the front you have little umbrellas. Inside, let's first talk about this guy. Biggest product, really great value because you get so much. But it's a hand cream, which is something that I would have thought would be more appropriate for winter. So I might have to stash it back for fall or like as the seasons change and I find my hands getting more dry. But it's from the brand Delectable, and this might be why they included it. The scent is lemon and cream. It's very sweet and light and fruity. So it's very refreshing, but it has shea butter, coconut oil, and aloe vera, so it's very nourishing, very hydrating, not necessarily something I need to readily apply all the time during the summer. So like I said, I will probably stash this away for the cooler months, which may never actually come here in Texas, but you never know. Up next is a blush. It's actually a perfect complement to the bronzer that I received in the Play by Sephora box. It's from the brand Elizabeth Mott. It's the Show Me Your Cheeks blush in the shade Peach Pink. I mean, who doesn't love a good peachy pink with a classic gold shimmer? I'm wearing it on my cheeks today and I'm not wearing any highlight because the shimmer or the highlight, I wouldn't call it a shimmer. It's very, very fine, but it's very, very present, and you just do not need a highlight when you wear this stuff. So something to consider. And the other thing is, I don't find it to be all that pigmented. I mean, especially on like medium, even deep skin tones, this is gonna be strictly a highlighter. Like, it takes a lot of layering up on my skin tone. And I mean, even though I do have a little bit of color from like running outside and just it being generally summer, I had to layer this up quite a bit to get the payoff you see here. So I do think that deeper skin tones might find this functions better as a really beautiful, subtle golden highlight with I mean, maybe a hint of pink. It's really just not that prominent, but very flattering. I personally like it, and it's a one and done product in the sense that I don't need to use this and a highlight in addition to it. Next is an eyeshadow from a palette that I don't have actually from the Balm. It's one from the Meet Matrimony palette, which I think is their, I want to say it's their second matte palette, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't have it. And the shade I got is Matte Moscovitz. It's this beautiful deep matte plum that I am wearing in the corner of my eyes right now. All over the rest of my lid, I'm wearing one of the reformulated Mally Evercolor eyeshadow sticks in the shade Timeless Taupe, I want to say. It's matte. So I'm wearing that all over the lids, and I put this guy in my outer corner, and it really blends beautifully. There's not a whole lot to say about this. If you're familiar with the Balm's formula, really consistent with that. It's a great, smooth, but pigmented formula. As far as mattes go, there is no, you know, catching or like inconsistent application. It blends really nice and smoothly while still maintaining that pigmentation, not chalky in the least. I would consider buying this palette if I didn't already have so many other stinking matte palettes, but I am considering it. And I think a lot of you guys, when I recently did my Anastasia Beverly Hills, more than one of you mentioned that you had this palette and wanted to see a tutorial, so I got the wheels turning and thinking, but I got a lot of makeup. I'm trying to work my way through the makeup I have, so we will see, but in the meantime, I have really been liking this shadow. Now it would probably make most sense to talk about the brush that I used to apply the shadow in the demo, not that I'm wearing today, but the actual demo that I played over top here. This is from Luxie Beauty, a brand that I've really been loving their brushes. In fact, I mentioned it when I did my kind of best brush guide ever video, something like that, very recently. I mentioned one of their brushes that I actually got in an Ipsy bag, so definitely go check that out. But I got another one this month. This is a liner brush, and it's the 215 Small Angle. Unfortunately, I have to say this is the first brush from Luxie Beauty I don't like for a couple of reasons. First of all, when I first got it, and maybe it'll do it now, when I first got it, the brush, or the bristles, were actually pushed into the ferrule, so it's not either clamped or glued properly. Something's not right, and so it's not a stable brush. But then once it's fully up, which I guess could be affected with how and where it's glued and clamped, but once I pull the bristles fully up out of the ferrule, it's a very long liner brush, and for me that gives me a little bit less control, and it makes the width of the brush a little bit too thick to get a nice precise winged line. And so for those reasons alone, not a super fan of this brush, but the brand itself does have a lot of other winners amongst the brush line. And last up is a lip liner. This is from the brand Ofra. It's just, they only have one kind of lip liner within their collection, and this is in the shade Silk. I think you either got Silk or some other shade. On me, this is kind of a mauve tone nude, and I have to say for the price, I think I looked this up before the video, just as a means of comparison, it's $13, although you do get 30% off Ofra this month through Ipsy. Code will be down below. I don't think it's worth the money. This is a very dry lip liner. I can think of a lot of other lip liners that are cheaper than this if you were to buy it full price and be much better in quality and lasting power. This is just kind of an not even average, a little bit of a below average lip liner for me, so I can't say it's something that I will look into after having tried it in this month's Ipsy bag. Typically when I wear it, I kept from doing it today because I wanted you to see the true color of this guy, but really I have to wear this under something, and there's so many lip liners that I prefer. Once again, some of them even cheaper than this that I can wear alone as a lip product. They don't make my lips look so dry and cracked and unhealthy, frankly. So yeah, not a lot of good stuff, but overall I do have to say I really like trying everything. Even if I didn't like the products, it helped me understand what I would and wouldn't buy full size, which is in part what these are supposed to do. Even if you don't end up loving every single product you get, one of the things that I enjoy is knowing that I saved myself the money and heartache on a full-size product that I might not have liked if I had bought not trying it in these. So really hope you guys enjoyed this video, seeing all these products in use, hearing my thoughts on them. I would love to hear what you got in your Ipsy bag, if it was something different than mine, or you know, what experience you're having with any of these products, if you got to try them in your monthly subscription services. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.